Now that you have a completed automata box, we are ready to go ahead and start laser cutting our parts and get them ready for manufacturing. To laser cut, what we have to do is we have to take this 3D part, which only exists in a computer, and send information out. The way we do this is through a file called a DXF. If we are going to be 3D printing something, then we would use a file type called an STL. Most of you are doing laser cutting at this point, so let's take a look at that first. So we're going to start by right-clicking on here. This should pop up, and down here you should see something that says Export Face As. What it's going to do is it'll take an outline of this object and turn it into a format that our laser cutter can read. I click Export Face As, and then I need to put my file name in. I'm going to use my first two initials, JQ, that way the teacher knows which one's who it belongs to. Then I'm going to name it something that makes sense, like Pete Body. And then I'm going to put an X1. That stands for quantity 1. That way your teacher, again, knows how many that he needs to laser cut. And I'm going to click Save. Now, it's had that done. I'm going to actually do that for any of the parts that I have that are flat. I'm not going to do it for the dowel rod or the crank necessarily or the follower, but just for all the parts that are flat. Things like cams, shapes, stuff like that. Once I have that done, I can come into my folder and I see my file down here under JQ Pete Body. If you follow the link on Canvas, it'll take you to a screen like this. Find your proper class period, open it up, and drag any parts over that you need laser cut. Your teacher will know based upon the .dxf whether it needs laser cut or 3D printed.